Oh my goodness, welcome back. Today we are talking Fairy Tale Magistus with a little bit of Branded. Gonna do a deck profile. I have been spending the past few days obsessing over this deck. I'm always gonna be a Malice girly. Malice never dies. But I definitely have been wanting to pick up a new deck, and I feel like with the ban list that came out and Blazing Dominion, I decided to pick up Fairy Tale Magistus. And shout out to my boyfriend who spent a lot of time helping me with this, who spent a lot of his own time tinkering and building. And yeah, I want to share the deck list with you, share what the deck is supposed to do. Keep in mind, I'm also learning. Shout out to all the people who have made videos about this. And so when we looked up like Fairy Tale post Blazing Dominion deck list, we can get ideas. This was not directly net decked from anywhere, though I'm sure someone probably also has had similar ideas to what we've had. But yeah, anyway, Fairy Tale Magistus, a hint, like the smallest hint of Branded. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to be looking over here because this is where the deck list is on the screen. This has been through many renditions. I'm very much open to feedback and tips on how to make this better. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Is at 40 cards, running the ads on Dueling Book, running 3 Lunas. This is a 1-card starter because when it is normal summoned, you can add a spellcaster monster with 1850. I shouldn't say you. I'm still learning. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I do think my boyfriend and I be cooking on this though. I do think we're figuring this out pretty well. What I add is Match Guru, just calling her Match Girl. Only running 2. I do think I want to run 3. So she is a new Blazing Dominion. And she says if a spellcaster monster with 1850 is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. It does lock you into spellcasters. That does not normally matter. I'm just realizing now if I ever go into SP though, it is going to matter. So I'm going to have to remember that. So Luna's 1850. So that allows you to special Match Girl. I am running 1 Snow. The Book of Moon effect is just too good. And her ability to special summon from grave as an interruption, as a quick effect. I am running 1 Snow. Running 1 Tales of the Fairy Tales. This card is kind of busted. So I have seen, my boyfriend was watching combo videos to try to get a gist of what to do with this because we're both learning this deck. So this is really, we've learned this through just kind of like the F around and find out method, which is a very fun method. I love learning decks that way, just messing around with it. So Tales of the Fairy Tale is a soft once per turn fusion. So this card says the equipped monster gains 1000 attack. This is important for going for game. Once per turn during your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 spellcaster fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from the hand, field, and or Prince of Fairies your opponent controls as material. That's a soft once per turn because it doesn't say you can only use the effect of Tales of the Fairy Tales once per turn. You can only use this effect. So I'll make a video about this in more detail, but like basically soft once per turns do not name the card. Hard once per turns do. So if we look at Luna is a soft once per turn when this card is normal summoned. If you normal summon it again, that can do it. Match Girl is a hard once per turn because you're going to notice down at the bottom, you can only use each effect of Fairy Tale Match Girl once per turn. It names the card. The fusion's a soft once per turn. And so you search it, you equip it, you fuse it. When this goes to grave, if this card is in your graveyard, you can equip this card to 1 Fairy Tale monster on the field. Then immediately you can normal summon a spellcaster with 1850. This is where if you normal summon the Luna again, so if you have another Luna in hand, you normal summon Luna, you get the search again because the search is not a hard once per turn. You can only use this effect of Tales of the Fairy Tales once per turn. So do you see how it's naming the card? You can only use this effect, meaning the graveyard effect, once per turn. The fusioning is not a hard once per turn. So you search it because Match Girl lets you search on normal or special. You can add a Fairy Tale spell trap. So if you search Tales of the Fairy Tale, you search it, you equip it, you fuse, it goes to graveyard because you want to fuse with whatever you equipped it with. From graveyard, you attach it, you normal summon again, you fuse again. So this 1 card is 2 fusions. Could run more. Don't personally think it's worth it yet, but we'll see. 2 Fairy Tale Balls is how you go for game. Fairy Tale Ball allows your Fairy Tale monsters to attack directly. where it's kind of not good, you can only activate it once per turn. So when this card is activated, you can add one Fairy Tale monster or one Fairy Tale Tales from your deck or banishment to your hand. That's like, yes, you can add another Luna, so that way you can normal summon again. The issue is at the very bottom where it says you can only activate one per turn, and on activation, but it's how you go for game, because your Fairy Tale monsters can attack directly. Most of them are 1850, and the equip spell gives 1,000, so you are able to OTK if you clear the board, and there are definitely ways to clear the board. Once Upon a Fairy Tale. This one lets you special summon one light Fairy Tale monster each. So hand, graveyard, banishment. They have to have different names. Our light Fairy Tale monsters are Snow, Match Girl, and Luna. So you're going to at least get one of them. It's best bang for your buck, because if you have one in hand, one in grave, one in banish, Snow banishes. That's how they get in banishment. Also, if you send this card from grave to banishment, or if you send this card from deck to grave, it automatically sets itself. So that's why we're only running one. My new favorite card art ever. I'm obsessed. I want to play Witchcrafter because the art is gorgeous. So Ver Magic, Lacrima of Light. Beautiful card. Great card. So it's always treated as a Magistus and a Witchcrafter card. You can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. The first effect is if you control a Magistus or Witchcrafter, you can send a spellcaster monster or a spell from deck to grave. So you can send Match Girl, and Match Girl can summon herself from grave. You can also send Tales of the Fairy Tales, and this is going to equip itself from grave. Her second effect is also pretty easy to activate because it is when your opponent activates a card or effect. So you can do this when your opponent ashes you, ghost spells, any hand trap. Any hand trap you can chain. It is a when, so it has to be chained, but it's chaining to when your opponent activates a card or effect. That's pretty easy to do. Special summon one Magistus or Witchcrafter monster from your hand or deck. So I'll go into what our Magistus choices are. They're literally the next part of the deck. So you can special summon a Magistus from deck. I'm playing one Rigatoni. Her name is now Rigatoni. I know Riliona, I started calling her Rigatoni. I think I want to run two. I think she's a one-card starter. I can't tell you right now how, because I'm still working on it. I'm pretty sure she's a one-card starter. So want to run two. This is something you can summon off of Ved. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. So you either add a Magistus spell trap from your deck to your hand. This gets you Ved. You could get another one that's not... We'll go into why she's a one-card starter when I actually have the brain power to do that. Also, though, she lets you return one of your banished level 4 or lower spellcaster monsters to your graveyards. Let's say you banished Match Girl off of Snow. You can get Match Girl back into graveyard in order to summon herself. And then, very cool, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target one Magistus monster you control. Equip it with a Magistus monster from your graveyard, except a level 4 monster. So much of the end board of this is the equipped Magistus cards in order to have your opponent not be able to activate Synchro, Fusion, Xyz, or Link. Like, we're going to talk about how that happens, but basically my vision for this deck is to go into an end board that shuts off your opponent from being able to activate Synchro effects. Looking at you, Cool Tunes. Looking at you, Elf Notes. Yes, opponents can deal with it. It's not a perfect floodgate, but your opponent, it's something that they have to deal with, and they have to be able to have an answer for it, and they have to use resources to get past that because they can't activate any of their synchro effects, and those are synchro decks, very synchro heavy decks that they need. Another card that is, great to search if you don't search the Rigatoni is the Crowley. You do not want to draw this card, but searching this card off of the Ved, right? Because she lets you send one spell, or special summoning this off of Ved is okay. He's way better to search. Sorry. So off of Ved, you can't search. You send, again, I'm still learning this deck. You send or you special. It's not the best to do either of those. You want to search him, and you normally search him through Spenta. Spenta is the way to search him. So running one Crowley because you do not want to draw him. If he's added to your hand, basically through a search, so you don't draw him, you can activate him in hand to special, and then immediately you can fuse. I actually haven't been using the fusion effect sometimes. I've more been using him for material because I'm going more like synchro line. 3 Spentas. Bless that when this came out, managed to secure a playset. Got the 3 Spentas. Love Spenta. She does what I think people wanted her to do in Draco Tail, but Draco Tail Magistus just was not it. This is it. So, Spenta, great 1-card starter. Discarder, add a Magistus monster from your deck to hand. You add Crowley, activate to special. You could search Rigatoni, normal Rigatoni, search the vid. I think there's a bunch of different lines. That's what's been really fun about learning this deck. Anyway, 3 Spentas. Also, when she is engraved, you can banish her in order to equip a Magistus monster from extra deck or graveyard as an equip spell. Anything that equips from extra deck is really good because that's how we start getting our equips out there. There's a specific card that's in the extra deck that's literally just there to equip. 1, Zorora, the Magistus of Flame. Again, he is another Magistus card that you can... what does he do? Oh, he lets you equip. He gets you into Artemis. You can target 1 Magistus monster you control. So you can target himself, equip it with 1 Magistus monster from your extra deck. So he also, I believe, is a 1-card starter because you can normal, you can target him, you can equip him with Artemis. Artemis is going to let you search the Crowley. Bada bang, bada boom. You can special summon 1. If he becomes equipped, you can special summon 1 level 4 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard. I did this once. I somehow got him out and I got something equipped to him. I don't remember how I did it. Okay, here's part of the package that I have already made changes on and I'm not sold on, but I think it could be good. Currently in the deck, I'm running 2 Incredible Ecclesias, mainly because you can special summon if going second with this deck is admittedly not the easiest so far. This is a special, okay, 2 Ecclesias, and it's going to be able to what I did with her because she's a spellcaster. You could also use her to go into Artemis. You can also then normal, and then 2 level 4 spellcasters is another way to basically get into full combo. You can also tribute her to summon, I believe, because then you can tribute her to, summon the Fallen. So I'm only, Fallen and Malbaz. I'm only playing 1 now. Was originally playing 2 Fallen of the White Dragons, only playing 1 Fallen of the White Dragon now. His ability to special summon Fusion and Synchro locks you into 8s and none of the fairy tale stuff. It doesn't go very well. But I think specialing Ecclesia and then getting out Fallen is good. That works. Other way around, I don't think is very good. TCG exclusive. Last thing, like for monsters, is 3. I just call her Genie. Genia of the Ring. She can also special summon herself. So if this card's in your hand, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. Special summon this card. That's it. You target and special. The thing though is if you target your opponent's monster, the next time this target would be destroyed by card effect, it is not. But the target becomes a spellcaster. So that could be good for Super Poly. I haven't drawn Super Poly while I've been playing, but Super Poly having it be a spellcaster is probably a good thing. Also, you get locked into spellcasters. Again, we're fine. So far, the only not spellcaster I've shown you has been Fallen of the White, and he's down to 1. So I think we should be fine. If this card is tributed or banished, looking at you, Snow. If you banish Jenny, Jenny, she's going to get a lot of different names by the time that I'm actually know what this deck does. You can add her back to hand. So that's really nice too, is that off of the Snow banish, she'll get added back to hand. Next, 3 Super Polys to fusion summon. 1 instant fusion to fusion. I learned what this did. This is great. What a wonderful cheat. 3 Ash to Ghost Spell to Droll. I did want to include Droll because he is a spellcaster and you can fusion from hand with Tales of the Fairy Tales. So that is important because you can fusion, let's see. Yeah, this is just from field. This just cheats it out. So you can fusion from hand with Tails. So having a spellcaster in hand, I think is important. 1 Metamorphosis. I'm not fully sold on him. Not only is he ugly, your monster has to stay there to get tributed. So that was kind of hard playing against Elf Notes. And 3 Fuas. Shout out to my boyfriend who had this idea because I'm very much like, is Fua even worth maining in this format? He's a level 4. And he will become a level 4 spellcaster. Him and Genie also gets you into combo. Because then he would become a level 4 spellcaster, which is important for our extra deck. So let me go ahead and move this up so we can now see the extra deck and move my little face out of the way. Okay, there's not a side deck yet. That's not going to happen for a while. Okay, looking at the extra deck, let me move the stuff that's the same. Okay, we are playing 1 Wiccat. I think I need to make this smaller so you can actually like see the extra deck and see there we go. Okay, so 2 Wiccats. This is how you can start your combo. Again, she takes 2 level 4 spellcaster monsters. Fua is already a level 4. If you summon with Genie, if you target the Fua, he becomes a level 4 spellcaster. Bada bing, bada boom. Wiccat is out. And Wiccat is going to let you detach the 2 materials or 1. However many materials you detach, you send that many fairy tale cards to grave, which is important because this is how you could send Tales of the Fairy Tale to get it back from grave. I personally think searching Tales, activating, and then bringing it back from grave, that's how you get 2 fusions, which I personally think is a lot better. Also, it has a quick effect that you can target a fairy tale monster you control whose original attribute is light, special summon this card. So this is a way to like imperm dodge if it's in the graveyard and you're trying to do the Luna search. You can do some dodges with Wiccat. 2 Teller of Fairy Tales. This is something so when we're talking end board, Teller of Fairy Tales, this is an important end board piece. 1 light fairy tale monster and 1 spellcaster monster. Fairy tale monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. So you're not going to be able to just beat over her, which is really great. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card was fusion summoned using Prince of Fairies as materials, you can destroy as many cards as your opponent controls, not just monsters, cards, and inflict 500 damage for each. So the way that we get Prince of Fairies is Match Girl. You pay 500, and the effect monster of your opponent controls become Prince of Fairies. That's forever. And that's also really funny because I renamed an Elf Note Prince of Fairies, and then they tried to special Regina by attributing the Elf Note monster, and I was like, that's no longer Elf Note Lucina. That's Prince of Fairies. It matters. This is a hard thing to remember. The renaming stuff Prince of Fairies has been something hard for me to remember. Also, the field spell says that once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster and you control a fairy tale, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and its name becomes Prince of Fairies. I believe those are the only 2 in-deck way to rename things to Prince of Fairies. So anyway, that's why I'm running 2, because also going second, great, blow up the board in a grind game. If it's your turn 2, so 3rd turn of the game, get it out, blow up the board. The second effect is a quick effect. You can banish 1 fairy tale card from your hand or graveyard and negate the activation. And if you do, destroy the card. So it's basically an omni negate and destroy, and you will have fairy tale cards in your graveyard very easily. Notice again, this is a hard once per turn. You can only use each of the following effects of Teller of Fairy Tales once per turn. So it is a blow up if it's fusion summoned using Prince of Fairies, which is something that you would then name. I believe also even Match Girl, you can name anything Prince of Fairies. Hold on. No, an opponent. So Prince of Fairies means opponent, and so then Super Poly to fuse with your opponent's stuff. Tails also lets you fuse with Prince of Fairies that your opponent controls. Okay, 1 Weaver. This turns all Prince of Fairies into spellcasters. That's also important because in order to fuse, if you need you need a spellcaster monster. So Weaver, I haven't figured this line out yet because I think if your opponent has a Prince of Fairies, but it's not a spellcaster, getting into Teller is difficult. So all Prince of Fairies on the field become spellcaster monsters. I think that's just while she's on field. I don't think, right? I think that has to be while she's on field. Correct me if I'm wrong. During the main phase, you can special summon 1 fairy tale monster from your deck or banishment. Again, this is another one that has a soft, not even soft once per turn. It just, you can do the effect multiple times. So first thing, you can only use this effect of Weaver of Fairy Tales once per turn. So the special summoning a fairy tale monster from deck once per turn. You can use blah, blah, blah. If you normal or special summon a non-earth fairy tale monster, so Luna, Match Girl, Snow, except during the damage step, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. Also, its name becomes Prince of Fairies. You can do that as many times as you can do it. So you can summon Snow off of her quick effect and banishment and trigger Weaver and negate and rename Prince of Fairies. You can use Weaver's effect to summon Luna and negate Prince of Fairies. You can use Match Girl's graveyard or hand effect to summon herself and boom, negate Prince of Fairies. So this is another way to get Prince of Fairies named on your opponent's field. So that is it for the fairy tale extra. Then we are running, let me move this over here. Artemis, this is our way to search into Crowley and then do all of the Crowley stuff. We equip the Artemis by using Endymion. Also notice Endymion's an 1850. Endymion's an 1850 spellcaster. So yeah, that's really good for a Match Girl. So this says if it's Link Summon, you can target one Magistus monster you control, target itself, equip it with one spellcaster monster from your graveyard. So normally you go Artemis and then use Artemis and another monster to go into Endymion. Also, you can, this is where the Zorora in main deck, because it says you can target one Magistus monster, equip it with a Magistus monster. So you equip it with Artemis in order to search. We also have our Omega. Okay, sorry, where was I? I was explaining my extra deck. Oh, okay. Had to take a mini break. So I haven't really used Omega, so I'm gonna be honest with you. There he is. Same thing with the Zorora. I have not really used him much. I mean, they're both Magistus fusions that you can attach for what's coming up for another. So Teller of Fairy Tales, great end board piece. Weaver is also a really good end board piece. Chorizo, I think you use him. He's like a bridge piece because you can send, like if Artemis is in the equip spell zone, you can send her for Chorizo. I think I've only done it once or twice. I'll have to practice it more, but basically there is a way through him to keep it going. Okay, here's this one. The Zorora Synchro says, so he takes one spellcaster tuner and one non-tuner. So you do need, in terms of tuners, we have Incredible Ecclesia. She's our tuner. Oh, which is another reason running two of her makes more sense. I should just fix this like right now as we're talking. Let me add another one of her. Okay, save deck. It's called Furry Little Babies. Okay, so he takes one spellcaster tuner and one non-tuner monster. Is Droll a tuner? No, sorry, I'm getting distracted. If this card is synchro summoned, you can equip one Magistus monster from your extra deck to this card. So immediately you can go ahead and get the other synchro Magistus equipped. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same card type as a Magistus monster in your spell trap zone. So I haven't played with this, but you also don't have to equip it to him. Just as long as, I mean, it makes sense because you have to get rid of him in order to be able to activate the effects of monsters that have the same type as what's in your spell trap zone as equip monsters. So I'm normally attached to him. There's probably some plays around that though. But basically, so if you attach a synchro, a Magistus monster synchro, your opponent cannot activate the effects of synchros. Period. Remember that there's also Spenta, lets you banish and equip. Rigatoni has an equip. He himself has an equip. So that is why Varam is in here. He does have stuff, like he blows up the board. If the synchro summon card is destroyed, you can control all face-up cards your opponent controls. I haven't even tinkered with actually summoning him. He's literally in there as a Magistus synchro. You attach the synchro. So with the end board, you can have Zorora with up to probably like 3 attachments. So you can do Link, Fusion, Synchro, and then your opponent can't activate those effects. Also have an Xyz Magistus in here. So the options are endless. Ecclesia is in here for the Fallen. because during your main phase quick effect, you can banish this card, and if you do special summon one Fallen of Albaz or level 4 monster that mentions it, so basically in here for the Fallen of Albaz. SB, I do have to be careful about the spellcaster lock, I'm realizing. But she is good in order to, I mean, SB I feel like is always good. And then we have Ninaru, Ninaruru, Nina, I'm going to end up renaming all of them. Love the Magistus cards, can't pronounce a single one. While this card is a equip card, you can do 2 attacks. I'm going to be honest, this one, and honestly even kind of SB. And then if we take out the Fallen and the Incredible Ecclesia, that leaves room for the other Ecclesia. So there is room, like, to, if I was going to make changes. She's kind of a flex spot if anyone has any tips on something that might be better. It does let you target a spellcaster in your graveyard and add it to hand. So that could be the way if you have Match Girl engraved from previous, and then you get Match Girl back in order to continue doing some combo. Anyway, but yeah, this is the deck. I'll show you some test hand videos. We're gonna learn together because I'm still learning, but I think it has a ton of potential. If anyone has literally any recommendations on how to make it better, or things that you would change, or things that you see that I don't, that could go crazy. Again, I think Endymion being an 1850, crazy. I do think, having some of the Magistus engine works really well. I do see the value in having the Incredible Ecclesia, especially for going second. Going second, this deck admittedly has been kind of weak. I've only played a handful of games though. Charmy being level 4 is beautiful. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're planning on playing during Blazing Dominion. And yeah, we'll see you for a lot more Fairy Tale Magistus videos. I'm still playing Malice. You'll still see Malice on the channel. But yeah, we're moving into our Fairy Tale Magistus era. Feeling good about it. Okay, bye.